Welcome to DIYEasyCrafts.com. How to make your own Nautical Seahorse Mailbox Decorative Bracket. We made these Seahorse brackets out of some scrap Trex material. Trex happens to work out perfect because the end product will be weather and water resistant. Never need to sand it, never need to paint it. I downloaded a sketch of a seahorse off the internet and then just traced it onto the Trex in the appropriate size just with a Sharpie marker. I then used the jigsaw to cut out the basic shape. That takes a little while, but once you get the shape completely cut out, we can add or just keep adding additional details. The outer edge of the seahorse is pretty easy. The inside edge, especially the enclosed areas, just require that you drill a few holes through the Trex first that allow that jigsaw blade to get inside, and therefore you can continue the cut all the way around the outside perimeter of that seahorse design. Now, of course, you do have to leave a straight up the back and also along the top, and those are going to be used to attach this bracket to the mailbox and post. I'm using a drill to create the eye for the seahorse and also to create the holes along the back side that we talked about earlier, and those holes are just large enough for the jigsaw blade to get inside. In addition to a jigsaw, I'm going to use a Dremel grinder with a few different attachments. This one is a drum sander. I'm just going to smooth off all of the rough edges left from the jigsaw. These little grinders move quite a bit of material pretty quickly. In addition to the Dremel grinder, I'm going to use a disc sander or disc grinder with a sanding disc in it. This is pretty abrasive, but I'm going to use it to roll over the belly so that one side rounds over onto the other, kind of giving it the three-dimensional effect of a statue rather than just a cutout. At the same time, it adds a different texture and a different color to the piece. You just have to be a little bit careful with the disc grinder. It is very aggressive, and you can very easily remove too much material. And you can see how both sides are starting to come together. Additional detail is added to the piece with the Dremel grinder. This time I'm using a cutoff wheel, a cutoff disc, and I'm just going to cut grooves into the surface of the seahorse. And these additional details just really enhance the final product. The body of the seahorse is coming together very nicely. I'm going to start to work on the head. I'm going to go back to the disc grinder, and I'm going to start to round over the nose and also the head, again to give it that three-dimensional look of a statue rather than just a cutout of a piece of Trex. And once again, you want to be real careful with that disc grinder. It is very aggressive, and you definitely can remove more material than you want to very quickly. But if you're careful, it's a very quick way of moving material. And if you're careful, you can get some decent results with it. Alright, so now that the head and face have been basically shaped, I'm going to add some additional detail to the body. Again, going back to that drum grinder with a sanding drum on a Dremel grinder. that's pretty much it. A fairly easy to make decorative seahorse bracket for a mailbox. I'm going to add a couple more details. I think the final step in this seahorse is just adding the mouth. And I'm going to again cut that in with a Dremel grinder. And that's basically it, ready to be installed underneath the mailbox, attached not only to the mailbox but also to the post or the upright. Very easy to make Seahorse nautical decorative piece for underneath the mailbox. Please check us out on the web at DIYEasyCrafts.com. Be sure to check out our other how-to videos. And if you like this video, I ask that you please subscribe to this YouTube channel.